First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for BDElite. We are live on Twitch. And of course, where is that, Davie?
Twitch.tv/upNXT podcast. Hello, Twitch room.
Yes, every Tuesday night we watch NXT. We are your NXT friends. We go live on Twitch on Tuesdays, record up next, but we do the same thing for this show, BDElite, every Wednesday night live on Twitch, chatting all about some all elite wrestling. And what a show it was tonight. The show that everyone was intrigued by because, you know, Tony Khan, Booker of the Year, you know, he loves to just promote big things.
Yeah.
Just promote. Just heavily promote everything. So forbidden doors are going to open, forbidden doors are going to shut, and so much. But we'll definitely get into that because there was some debuts. There's always debuts.
Too many debuts. Can't even remember who's on this roster anymore.
Yeah. Lots of people coming into the company, and it seems like two more coming into AEW on this show. But how are you doing?
Pretty good. I am struggling today with the time. I wasn't able to get my nap in earlier, so I'm feeling it tonight. We did NXT yesterday. I kind of got through that all right, and then definitely feeling the struggle doing these late night AEWs tonight. But I'm good. I went to the movies earlier. Went to see Scream, the new one.
You mean Scream 5?
Scream? No, just Scream. It's a requel.
Did you scream?
I did not scream. I was the only one in the cinema. Actually, I had the whole place to myself, which was kind of fun. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I was curious to see what kind of concept they were going to go with for this one, because I've liked that on each of the Scream films, how they kind of do like the conventions of a sequel or the conventions of a reboot, and I was kind of curious what they do for this one. But yeah, I liked it.
It was good. Yeah, it's conventions of modern day horror and still meta and still poking fun at like all the other.
Whereas the conventions of a reboot prequel for this one. So number 4 was a reboot, and this one was more like even down to the title of it. As I kind of said yesterday, why not just call it Scream 5? But they even kind of explained that.
Scream 5 with a 5.
So I kind of dug it.
I also like they poked a lot of fun and callbacks to like a lot of other horror movies in it, but then there's even like digs at they did a show, like MTV did a show called Scream that had nothing to do with Scream, but it was pretty much Riverdale before Riverdale, but a lot more gory.
Yeah.
And I think this movie took a lot from that because the movies before were never that gory. I found it was this one that was like more so they definitely took from modern day horror. They kind of upped the ante a little bit. This is by far
pretty gory.
No, that usually it cuts when you see someone about to get stabbed.
No,
and this
Scream
time
2, you've got a pole through a guy's eye in the car. They've all been pretty gory. Scream 1, they're like stabbing each other.
I still this one felt like the most like close up, most blood. Like it felt that way. I guess they can do more modern day tricks or whatever, but there was like a few cameos in it, like a lot of fame. Was it Siino that told me that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son is in this movie? Also, okay. Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan have a son who's an actor. He's in this movie, Jack Quaid, which apparently he's also a cameo in one of those skits we love, Auntie Donna.
Okay.
So apparently he's been in none of those, but yeah, Yeah, good stuff. I want to go to see Jackass because I heard it's a lot of fun, and I've heard some good things for it. Like longtime fans are like, I kind of, it's like almost like a redemption or homecoming in a way. So I do have interest in seeing that. But um, I'm trying to remember. There was a trailer for Scream that I'm wondering if you got for the movie called like The Cursed or something. It looked pretty cool as well, like
No,
vampires
I
or
can't
something.
even think what trailers there were. I wasn't really paying much attention beforehand.
Yeah,
No, I got the Batman and no, I can't. I think I might have nipped out to the toilet. I can't remember what else, but yeah, the Batman looks cool. But no, I do
yeah. The Batman does
remember.
look cool. Yeah,
I think was it when I went to see Spider-Man. There was a trailer for a horror film that coming out, so it might be the same one you're talking about. Looked pretty good, but I always enjoy
I think.
horror, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, yeah. I do too. I do want to check out the Batman. Obviously, we're gonna be doing our Justice League review on this free feed eventually in a few weeks. Prepping for that Batman movie, which it does look pretty cool. So I've tried not watching. I've watched the first trailer when that one came out, and I've kind of just avoided everything else. Just want to just go and watch it. And of course, my apparently every Wednesday is when the new episodes of Pam and Tommy drop. So I'm about to go watch that probably after this because I'm kind of hooked on that. And we watch some other stuff because to promote some Patreon stuff, we have a great Valentine's Day gift for you, our listeners, our patrons. Because if you are a patron, you're going to get our new best match ever coming out this weekend, just in time for Valentine's Day. And what better way to celebrate Valentine's Day, Davie? What's your favorite thing to do on Valentine's Day? What's your favorite thing about Valentine's Day?
Oh, I think it's going back and watching a load of Shawn Michaels matches. I don't know about everyone else.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Heartbreak. I really softballed that one for you.
Well, I said that on about 2 of these shows already, and the show we recorded earlier. So I don't like to repeat jokes like you do, Braden.
Yeah, well, I was setting up because people haven't heard that one yet. So
they heard the show we did yesterday, though. I would think. Yeah.
So we're going to talk all about Shawn Michaels, but his original run from 91 to 98. So eventually we're going to have to do a second part, but we recorded that today. So that'll be out this weekend, chatting all about some early 90s Heartbreak Kid and the best of him in WWF. And then our WCW Super Brawl 2 review will be out this week as well. So go check that out. And then if you're looking forward to some things next week, I know we're going to be doing
doing
No
the Book
Way
of
Out.
Boba Fett. We've got another Was Next coming out. And then we've got at the end of the month our Les Mis review with Chris Leone. So a lot of variety coming up in the rest of the month. And No Way Out 2002.
Yeah, very strange variety. We're going from Sting and Lex Luger to the NWO in WWF and Hugh Jackman singing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan singing. Just all over the place.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/upNXT is where you can go for $5 and support us and listen to all the other podcasts that we do. And yeah, it leads us to some Dynamite, some AEW here tonight. Tony Khan promoting that the Forbidden Door was going to open and another Forbidden Door was going to open and close shut. I know he's gunning to get that trademarked for sure. But yeah, a lot of people, we were speculating a bunch of different names. We thought, hey, maybe it could be New Japan people because he does say like it's still someone who's in another company. Isn't that what the Forbidden Door thing means? It's not just like leaving. So we do get that.
Forbidden if you're a free agent. Yeah. So
yeah, it doesn't
kind
feel
of
that
promoting
way.
2 people tonight, and one of which being the Forbidden Door, and then the match for Isaiah Kassidy.
Yeah. So right off the bat, guys, no Jeff Hardy. I'm sorry. I know you were looking forward to it, Davie, but no Jeff Hardy tonight. But I know we're gonna get Jeff Hardy in one way or another. I can't wait. We're gonna get it, and I'm gonna love it.
No more people should sign to this company for a year. I think I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Let's just promote the people we got. I don't want any more surprises.
Yeah, I don't mind when they do it, but I do feel like it's been quite a lot when you do already have a lot of people, but yeah, I do think it adds excitement. But TNA used to do it, and it got so like almost boy who cried wolf. Like, we have a huge announcement, a huge signing. You won't believe who's showing up, and then everyone's going to tune in, and then they're kind of like, yeah, all right, like that's cool, but you made it sound like fucking, something huge, something crazy that was nothing. Where the surprises that we got tonight are cool and are pretty great in my opinion. But when you hyped them up and stuff, like, isn't it just going to make people like what was the Christian one when he made it sound like
Yeah, it was
signing
the what was it? The world of wrestling will change forever or something like that. Will never be the same again. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Promoter's gonna promote, and yeah, of course you're gonna hype up your show, of course. But people do get their hopes up, and I'm not saying these were disappointments tonight, but I do think it's getting a case where it's becoming the promotion of who's coming in next is bigger than actually the storytelling you're trying to do. Like, we had a big title match main eventing tonight, and it seemed maybe the fourth most interesting thing going in that people were talking about, and I feel maybe that's what you should be trying to promote instead than who you're going to have show up for a couple of weeks. Remember when Kyle O'Reilly showed up? Like, what's happened to him? That was only a month ago, and he's already like forgotten about. So I think it's cool. Like, Keith Lee, obviously phenomenal talent. We talked about him a bunch in NXT. I hope he does great stuff, but I don't know. I'm getting a bit kind of debuted out on AEW right now. So we'll see where they go with them, and whether TK gets bored of Keith Lee in a couple of weeks, and then he's just back to doing nothing,
Yeah, I mean, is it almost like every time they bring in people, it's going to push some of the other homegrown talent back? But then on the other flip side, they've treated a lot of their homegrown stars as stars, so like they do a good job of that as well. But yeah, bringing in a lot of people. Look, again, I'm excited to see all sorts of different wrestlers face different wrestlers. If that's what this leads to, then I love it. It's great. And I do like the talent that they bring in here tonight. Sadly, it was no Jeff Hardy, because part of me wanted Karrion Kross to show up, and then he could beat Hangman for the title. Then Jeff Hardy could come in and take the title from him. Like, there's a lot of fantasy booking. I wanted to, NXT and WWE storylines seem to finish in AEW. So that was something hopefully maybe we'll see in another day, unless he's busy freeing his narrative. But let's talk about Dynamite and talk about who showed up on this episode from Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. And it is in Atlantic City, the best place to have Texas death matches. And they roll out the red carpet, but it's not quite the red carpet. It's the scarf.
The Burberry carpet.
That's right. Because MJF is going to have a celebration. He's got some speaking to do. And we get Wardlow, who comes out, no entrance. And he's got like cutout boards, like our cutout of Kyrie.
Yeah, he's been given the job of kind of setting up for MJF's party. But no music or anything.
Yeah, but then Justin Roberts introduces Sean Spears. He comes out. Then they introduce FTR. They come out. And then MJF finally gets this huge, big entrance. Like, Justin Roberts has to read this like whole script that we've heard, putting shoulders to the mats, banging rats, and beat the PG Punk, and the town of Chicago is a dumpster fire, and all this stuff. And out comes MJF, but he's like sitting on like a throne where people are out carrying him.
Yeah.
Like almost like a Greek god.
King Mabel kind of thing.
Yeah, essentially. That's definitely what I was thinking here. And then after they bring him out, he's kind of just vibing while his music's playing. He's being booed. And the commentary are like, what? This guy is acting as if he won the world title, but he beat Punk and he cheated, and he's so proud of this. Well, it's a huge celebration. He's then got like two like ladies beside him who are also helping him come to the ring, and they're dressed like Princess Leia in Return of the Jedi, kind of gold bikini kind of thing or something. And then he just makes out with them. He just makes out with one of them.
He gives her a right old smooch.
Yeah, snog, if you will, right?
Yeah,
Is that what
Good
they
for
call
him.
that?
Good for all of
Yeah.
them.
Wow. Yeah. Nice. He goes into the ring. He has a microphone and he says, "Boy, it's hot in AC tonight." He then says he's the best and he doesn't want to hear about no Danielsons, no Hangmans, no Mox, no Kenny, because I am the best in the world. And why? Because I beat the best in the world. In fact, I beat him twice. And you want to know, it was something special. But after I beat him, I did whisper something into his ear. I whispered some words. You suck. Because there was reports. You could kind of see that he was.
Yeah, we kind of meant we thought he was thanking him at the end last week. He definitely hung out like by him for a little bit, like Rock and Austin at WrestleMania 19.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he did
suck.
actually say thank you or something. But yeah, he's obviously it was on camera, so he's like, I said you suck, you shit, punk.
He does say, I do need to say thank you to someone because they're very important and they helped me in my match last week. And that someone is my friend, Sean Spears. And Wardlow's kind of looking a little funny, like, I was the one who helped him. He says, Sean, because of you helped me work out before my match and you put me in the best shape. And I went on to be the best and I went on to beat the best. I'm better than you because I beat the best. And Sean Spears says, well, I got a present for you. You have a new shirt up on PWT and it says just that. So wow, look at that. A brand new shirt already that says he's better than the best in the world. Then CM Punk
I did
walks
like
out.
when MJF said the one person he'd like to thank is Sean Spears, you just saw Wardlow behind grab the bottle of champagne and just chug from it because he's like, for fuck's sake, and just drinking away in the back there.
Well, out comes Punk, and he's a little just like, he's just laughing. He's got a smile. And Tony Schiavone runs over. Bless him. Punk just couldn't walk out with a mic, but Tony has got to run over and like give him his essentially and hold the mic for him. And Punk says, wow, yeah, you really pick your spots, huh? And Punk basically says, Sean Spears didn't help you win. I want a rematch, and well, it's not gonna be you. But you pick your spots. You beat up me when there's lots of you guys and just one of me. Well, today I got friends and outcome Sting and Darby. They hang around the entrance ramp with CM Punk. And Punk says, well, I want a rematch, but I'm not talking to you, MJF. I'm talking to Wardlow. He's the one who beat me in Chicago. So I want a match with him. And this is where MJF starts being a little bit more of the guy, like where he dictates. He is the guy who has the strings, the puppet master kind of.
Yeah, he kind of backtracks. He starts calling Wardlow his best friend and stuff like that because Punk is basically telling Wardlow to think for himself. And the only reason MJF's winning is because of Wardlow and he's not getting the appreciation he deserves. And he's kind of, Punk is trying to get Wardlow to leave these guys. And that's when MJF kind of backtracks and is like, oh no, he is my best friend and we're great and Pinnacle are together and all that.
So they basically challenged them to a 6-man when MJF says, no, how about you get a match. You don't get to face FTR with either Sting or Darby, these two guys. But if you find another friend, I'll give you a match if you can beat FTR tonight. So basically another one of these games you got to do to get to a match with MJF, but he's saying he cannot have Darby or Sting as his partner. So tonight Punk has to find another friend to tag with him to face FTR.
I really love this opening. It's quite rare AEW do these kind of talking segments to open. We normally go straight to a match. So when they do it, it kind of needs to be a big deal. And I think I saw someone point out on Twitter, this is the first time that a match has kind of been made on Dynamite for that night in the whole history of its run, which, thinking about it, I can't think of anything. You often have it set up for the next week or for Rampage or stuff like that. So I kind of like this. It was a bit different. It left you a bit of intrigue. Who is Punk's partner going to be? I thought they did a great job in furthering the feud with Wardlow and MJF, and Punk kind of acknowledging Wardlow and almost giving him respect because Wardlow sort of had him beat the other week on Dynamite as well. I thought it did a lot of good stuff here, and MJF just in his gloating is very entertaining. So yeah, I kind of enjoyed this opening, and definitely made me interested for the match to come later.
Yeah, I'm always into MJF. Anything he does, it made me laugh so much with the epic entrance, with them bringing him out. I was laughing. He's such a good heel. He gets you so heated. And if you went on Twitter right after the segment, CM Punk tweeted out, "At Samoa Joe, are you in the country?"
Yeah.
And then he also asked Danhausen, like, "Yo, are you around? Are you
cleared?
Yeah, are you good to wrestle?" So we'll see who his partner is later tonight.
Meanwhile, Ric Flair was just upset about something, but I'm still trying to decipher what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but
was it because Punk didn't ask him?
Yeah, was that it?
I've no idea, but that guy needs.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Well, Darby and Sting are actually going to stay like behind the tunnels, so kind of in guerrilla here, as they are going to be interviewed here because they finally go face to face. Sting and Darby are face to face with Andrade. Andrade, who wants to talk to Mr. Sting and his kid Darby. And finally they meet him, and Darby's like, "Look, man, I'm not interested in working for you. I don't know why you keep thinking I can just work for you. I don't know." And Andrade's like, "Look, man, I just, we could work together. You should work for me." And Sting basically steps in. He's Darby's dad here, and he's real stern, puts the stern talking to Andrade and says, "Look, first of all, he's not a kid. Okay. This Darby, he's not a kid. And we don't want you. We don't want to do anything with you. We're not interested." Darby says, "Yeah, I got better things to worry about, like myself, and I'm going to focus on the TNT championship." And Andrade says, "Well, you can focus on the TNT championship. That'll do you some good because I'm going to be the next TNT champion." So maybe some foreshadowing of a promo or maybe a feud, a story between, I don't know, Andrade or Sammy and Darby and TNT title picture. And
yeah, we've got a lot being set up right now. You could go one way, like, do you put both these guys in the Face of the Revolution ladder match, which, if I remember right, it's kind of a call your shot. Didn't Scorpio Sky win that last year, and he challenged for the TNT title? So I think you can choose what title. So it could be that they're starting to build up little feuds to go in that ladder match. Or, I mean, I see it more likely that maybe Andrade beats Sammy down the line, and then we set up for Darby versus Andrade. But I just want to start seeing... I'm enjoying this Andrade character. I am finding it quite funny. I want to see him, if he's going to do talking segments, more of this rather than hanging around with Matt Hardy. But I'm pleased that he's finally got a bit of a goal in mind and wants to be a champion, because I'm a big fan of his wrestling, and I don't think we've seen quite enough of it yet. And while Sammy's had a good run, I can't say it's been as big for Sammy as, say, the TNT title was for a Miro. So I think Andrade could be a good person to have that title down the line.
Yeah. I love Sammy. I never thought they should have taken it off him with the Cody. Him getting it back from Cody is great. But then, I know he's had some little defenses here and there, but, having some bigger defenses would definitely build it back up. And he has, that ladder match still a few weeks ago was amazing. But yeah, I'm interested in Sammy Andrade. That sounds hot. That sounds like it could be great. And same with going back to Darby and Darby, Sammy, the pillars there and stuff. But Andrade chasing after the kid Darby is still funny to me, but the matches could be good. We go to another match, and it is the Blade versus Wardlow. Now, Wardlow didn't know he was going to wrestle, so he was still in like his suit and stuff for the party earlier. But MJF said, "No, you're going to wrestle tonight, so get ready." And so he had to change quickly, and he's going up against the Blade. And Sean Spears is sitting ringside here. But this is Wardlow throwing the Blade around, a lot of big power moves early on, a huge belly to belly as they go to commercial break. The Blade does get some offense in. But this time, Sean Spears is literally just sitting there, just watching. When we come back from commercial break, it's like almost like Wardlow's just done being toyed with, done playing around, and then just there's power bomb after power bomb. I don't know how many power bomb, because every time I went down to mark him hitting a power bomb, I'm like, wait, did he just hit him with another? In the commentary is like, and another power bomb. I'm like, holy. So lots and lots of power bombs. The power bomb symphony, I think, is what they call it, which is pretty cool move, actually, a name for a move. But then just stands over the blade and gets the pin. But it's like very nonchalant. Like he feels so disrespected from earlier that he's just like, whatever, and kills this guy. Poor Blade.
Yeah, so I get the fight feed over here, so it doesn't cut to picture in picture. You just have the match play on, and it kind of killed the match for me. I found this pretty boring, and I've quite enjoyed Wardlow's squash matches, but it was similar criticism I had for Pete Dunne, Draco Anthony from yesterday, where I just felt Blade was getting way too much in. Wardlow murdered CM Punk the other week. Punk barely got anything in against him, and now I'm seeing the Blade, who's like going toe for toe with Wardlow. I think this should have just been another 2-minute absolute massacre. I didn't think it needed to be split across the commercial break, but it's telling the story. I do enjoy the multiple powerbomb thing. I think the crowd are getting louder and louder for Wardlow every week, and are just waiting for him to finally snap on MJF. But yeah, I can't say. The match kind of put me to sleep a little, and considering we've had a lot of talking to open the show, I was kind of waiting for that hot opener, which I hadn't quite got yet.
Yeah, it was a squash match for me still, just hitting the power bombs and stuff. Yeah, Blade got some stuff in. I hate going into picture in picture during matches, let alone when it's a match. I'm like, I don't even really want to see this match, but now I got to sit through it to come back to the finish of it. But whatever, at least it was quick-ish. And still continuing the story, it's like this Triple H Batista story with MJF and Wardlow here, because they're doing a great job, and eventually, whenever this happens, it's going to be huge. But yeah, we get a video from Penta, who, if you remember, got missed in the face. So something's happening to him. And it's one of these kind of spooky videos, but we hear him speaking, and then you hear Alex, who's doing the Penta says. And Penta says that Malachi Black spit into his soul. And, well, if he wants to live in darkness, he should be prepared to face the consequences. And it's time to rise for Penta. I didn't quite catch the name, but it's what he went by in Lucha Underground. It's like Penta something.
Penta Dark, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah. I know the spooky guys really are just coming in here and having quick matches and spitting in people's faces. But as a big fan of Penta, I'm like, all right, let's go. Emo Penta, goth Penta, scary, even more scarier Penta, meaning no Joker Penta. Let's see. I'm down.
One of the when I think of what Penta is capable of, I think of that first season of Lucha Underground, where he's just going around breaking people's arms. And if we can start to get that and get more of a heelish vibe from him, being a little bit more of an evil Penta, I am all for it. You've got some guys who their contracts are kind of coming up soon, like a Peter Avalon, for instance. Why not write them off? Why not have Penta just bring back the arm breaking gimmick until he's going to get his hands on the spooky tattoo men? Have a singles match against Peter Avalon, snap his arm. Marco Stunt, snap his arm. All these guys that are potentially leaving the company soon. Why not write them off and kind of build this guy as this killer? I'm all for it.
No, yeah, I love Penta. I would love to see him in a better prominent role, because I think the wrestling's there. I think the character's something that gets over. Everything about this guy I absolutely love, and now they're making him even more spookier. They got to lead. It's going to lead up to Penta versus Malachi Black in one of those Day of the Dead casket matches or Buried Alive matches, or
that'd be cool.
We're gonna get some. Yeah, we're gonna get
That
something.
coffin
we're gonna
match,
get
isn't it?
spooky.
We have in on AEW.
A coffin match or something spooky, or he joins them. I wouldn't mind if he was part of these guys because he's pretty spooky. But yeah, I want to see him fuck some people up. Evil, even Penta's already kind of evil, but he's cool evil. He's funny evil.
He's too much fun. He's the Joker.
He's the
dress up.
He's the Joker.
He's posing with his hands every week, and now I want
walking around like the Grinch.
I want to see the evil Penta who is snapping everyone's arm.
I walk around the house like Penta because I think Penta walks around like the Grinch a lot.
Yeah.
Like so I walk around like it's like a cat, right? It's like I do that a lot. I love Penta. I need evil Penta in my life. No more joking around Penta. Evil Penta, dark Penta. Let's do it. It's time for the Inner Circle meeting. Remember, we used to have one of these like every week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's happening
the
again.
Summit, the town hall, whatever they call it.
Vegas vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team meeting this week.
Team meeting, and you have to show up. It's not optional. So Judas plays, and one of our friends, shut up ESK, but Brandon from New Jersey, longtime listener, post wrestling up next. He actually went to the show tonight, and I know that he wanted to let everyone know that he was belting Judas here tonight. I know he had just a great time because I think it's his favorite Fozzy song. I could be mistaken. He might like the other ones, but he said he had a great time at the show tonight, and I know he loved the segment as well. Brandon from New Jersey said it was great. Well, Judas, the people of Atlantic City are singing, and out come Jericho, but he's with Jake Hager. And Sammy Guevara as well comes out. Proud and Powerful come out separately, and they've got some different music. I'm not quite sure if I've ever heard this music.
Yeah, obviously the Inner Circle tend to come out to Judas, but this is different from their usual Proud and Powerful music even. So I think this is brand new. It's kind of showing that they're separating a bit.
Yeah, so they come out, and Jericho's like, yo, what's the deal? Welcome to the town meeting. I said, be here. I don't know what's going on with us. And Santana kind of steps up and says, Jericho, to be honest, I would have dropped you already if it wasn't for Ortiz. If he didn't stop me, I would have knocked your ass out. Jericho says, whoa, what's with all this hostility? Like, you keep bringing up Eddie Kingston and your respect and loyalty. And what about the loyalty for us? What about the loyalty for me? I got you here. I got you this success. I ever since you got in AEW, I've been the one who helped you basically get rich and successful. So who cares about Eddie Kingston? And just because you're in the Inner Circle doesn't mean I can't kick you out because I brought you in here. Then he says, maybe I got the wrong LAX guys in the group. And then says, hey, Jake, you think you still got Homicide and Hernandez number when they almost attack Jericho when the guys get separated.
Santana
here.
Flies at him,
and then Sammy's in there like stop. When Jericho says shut up, Sammy. When this pisses off Sammy now, who's like, you know what? I've quit this group before and I'll do it again. So unless we don't figure stuff out, I'm not going to be part of this group. I'll leave if we don't figure this out. So it kind of walks off.
He takes
and then
off
Ortiz,
the Inner Circle
the vest
as well.
No, not the
Doesn't
vest.
want his vest anymore.
No, not the vest. Fuck. Ortiz then steps up and says, Jericho, we need to settle this. Next week, we're going to have a match, and it's going to be against you and Hager. Ortiz and Santana, Jericho, Hager, and we're going to settle this shit. So next week, the Inner Circle collide, explode. The Inner Circle combust. I don't know. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and Jericho says, I didn't want it to come to this, but I'm going to smack your face off, essentially. And attendance is mandatory. I quite liked this. I think Jericho is playing quite a nice balance of being a jerk, but also having some truth to what he's saying. Because, he brought these guys in and they have been main eventing pay-per-views, main eventing Dynamites and that kind of thing. But then it's little lines like, not tagging me in, you robbed the paying fans of getting to see me wrestle. and stuff like that. It's heelish as well. It's a bit of a jerk thing to say. And I think Santana just, we've said this so many times before, but he's a star. The guy can talk. I think the crowd are really on Santana and Ortiz's side here. Jericho brings up him reminding him of Eddie Guerrero, because he always thought the world was against him and would always get fired up over nothing. But yeah, I think it's one of these feuds where you can see it from both sides' point of view, and as a fan, you're going to just pick who you're going to side with, rather than... And everyone's kind of... It's what happens when friends fight. No one really comes out of it looking good. Everyone looks a bit of a jerk in the situation. So I'm kind of interested in this, and I think... I feel this is maybe a bit of a diversion until Eddie's back from his injury, so we get Eddie Jericho. But I think this is elevating Santana and Ortiz as well. So I thought everyone sounded pretty good here.
Yeah, Jericho also said, like, you guys could be champions. You could be, fighting for the champions. You had title shot and you've lost before, and it wasn't my fault. Like, I wasn't the one holding you back. He also keeps trying to get the influencer over.
Yeah.
He's the influencer.
You've got enough nicknames, mate. Come on, just...
The influencer.
Yeah, give that someone else.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the influencer. GFY, bro.
GFY. Yeah, he hasn't said that for a couple of weeks now. I think he realized it wasn't working.
It GFY'd.
I think the week he said it, when literally Moxley opened the show by going, "Hey, go fuck yourself." I think Jericho was like, "Oh, well, it's kind of lame me just saying GFY."
Now it sucks. It's like Friends, like it's a podcast, but you can't see I'm doing the fist thing.
Although
Friends, like,
I do think it would be a great line down the road for maybe a Santana or an Eddie Kingston to use it. Not only just to say go fuck yourself, but also just in a mocking way, because it's like, hey, do you remember when you were trying to get that over? That was pretty lame. GFY, Y2J.
GFY, Y2J. Yeah, someone's got to say that in a promo. The influencer, Chris Jericho. I heard he's trying to get that trademark.
Y2AJ. What was it? I want that Y. Was it AJ?
Y2AJ.
What was it?
Yeah, Y2AJ.
Yeah, I need that shirt.
Y2H. Yeah, remember they sold it for like a week.
Yeah.
To pretend that was an actual
that they're
team.
They're going to be a tag team.
I really wish I could get that Sin Cara shirt that had the dick on it.
Yeah. You've got the Sin Cara lighter, haven't you?
No, Jordan Goodman has the Sin Cara lighter.
Okay.
I wish I had the Sin Cara. I bought a lighter in Mexico that has like a luchador on it, but I don't know if is it Blue Panther, Blue Demon, something like that. Well, the Inner Circle will collide next week. We go to backstage when we see Roppongi Vice. Rocky Romero is back. Trent Beretta are back. And they're going to have their match with the Young Bucks on Rampage this week when they are attacked by Adam Cole and the Young Bucks when they're about to hit what looks like the BTE trigger, when Adam Cole stops and sees someone and says, "Hey guys, someone's here." And we see this person walk into the frame. And are you ready? Breathe with the switchblade, because Jay White is here on Dynamite as he just kind of watches over here. And then, kind of some tension here. The Young Bucks look a little shocked, like they've seen a ghost or something with Jay White. There's too many men on the field for the Young Bucks here.
Yeah, debut number 1 of the night. I just want to say John Siino sent us a message from a tweet that Tony Khan's just put out saying, "I didn't secure Jay White until Sunday. I realized after the fact that Friday night I butchered my own definition of the Forbidden Door in hyping tonight. I heard the fans' feedback and wanted it to ensure that tonight was a special Dynamite for all. Thank you for everyone who watched." So it kind of sounds like he signed Keith Lee, said, "Oh, Forbidden Door," and then everyone was like, "Oh, well, it's got to be someone signed by another company." And then he went, "Oh yeah, fuck, that's what the Forbidden Door meant. Hey Jay, what are you doing on Wednesday?"
Wow.
But yeah, I think it. I know Jay White's kind of polarizing wrestler. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. But I think with this Adam Cole storyline that's going on, kind of bringing back different elements of the Bullet Club and his different factions and things, I think it does make it a bit more interesting having the current leader of the Bullet Club involved. And if he's stateside for a while, why not? So I am intrigued. I'd say maybe more so from a storyline perspective than necessarily a match point of view with Jay White, but it is interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been so hot and cold with Jay White because I loved him on the Indies and Ring of Honor. He would be a regular in some Indies even up here in Toronto. But watching him kind of evolve in New Japan, he wasn't really hitting, and then I think he really started to find its stride, and I've kind of been a fan, and I think you're right. The storyline, I know the whole Bullet Club thing is kind of played out. Well, it's definitely played out. The only way I think we've come to the conclusion, the only way that the Bullet Club can truly be revived is if they find a new co-leader. Jay White needs to co-lead the Bullet Club with Shane McMahon, and they'll instantly become the best stable in wrestling again. But I am interested in seeing more of this. Like Adam Cole's just kind of playing skeezy. I mean, should we just mention the promo now because we're on the subject of?
Yeah, makes sense.
Because later in the show, we get one of these "Hey Brandon, are we live?" videos from the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, and they say this week, it's going to be Roppongi versus the Bucks. And now that you guys are 100%, we're going to beat you guys because we're 100%, and it's time to climb back to get those titles back. And this is when they're like, "Hey Cole, you could have told us that Jay White was coming in." And he's like, "Guys, don't worry. Jay White's going to have your back in this match against Roppongi Vice because Jay White's your man. And don't worry." And he goes, "Yeah, but don't you know, Adam, that Jay White and Kenny were kind of arch enemies and all that?" And Cole says, "Guys, you can trust me. We are now the elite. Well, we took an oath. We may be the elite, but Bullet Club for life." And then he walks off, and the Bucks are like, "Cut it, Brandon. But did you hear anything about Jay White?" And Brandon kind of ends before cutting off the camera, like, "No, but I read something on Reddit about him showing up." Yeah. Which is funny because a lot of people said that he was showing up on Reddit.
I mean, I think all those weeks when you were saying, "Oh, I just want Adam Cole to go to AEW and be with all his friends," I think Adam Cole really took it to heart, and he's just literally trying to bring all his friends to AEW. I'm interested in it. It has potential to maybe get a little too messy, but I kind of trust these guys. They expect you to kind of know the history of the group, and I think most kind of fans do. And it kind of plays into the stuff that he's been doing with bringing in Red Dragon as well, and the Bucks not being so happy about them being there as well. So it feels like Adam Cole's come in and Kenny's left at kind of the right time, and Adam Cole's just redoing the whole group in his own vision while the boss is away. He's kind of like the deputy head, and the principal's away, and the deputy's taken over and running shit for a bit. So when Kenny eventually comes back, he's going to come back to a very different looking elite and could set up quite a nice feud, and maybe that's when you get the fracture, the full sort of split where you have Team Kenny and Team Cole. But I'm interested in it.
Like this is it's getting out of hand. It's like there was the Bullet Club, and they're saying the Bullet Club is for life, and yet we got this elite, but then we have the super elite. But then when you add all these guys like Red Dragon, now Jay White, Adam Cole, Young Bucks, Kenny, Brandon Cutler, it's the super mega elite for life.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but while we're on the kind of subject of the Bullet Club, Adam Cole at the end, obviously Hangman Page used to be Bullet Club too, and the fact that Cole at the end kind of pats the title and it looks like he's maybe just going to attack him from behind, which you'd kind of expect, But again, it's kind of just bringing back that Bullet Club story and a bit of acknowledgement there that, hey, Hangman, you used to be a part of this all too.
Yeah, I knew that when he said Bullet Club is for life, that it wouldn't be the last we saw of these guys tonight in some way, shape, or form, which did happen. But yeah, I am intrigued. I know the Bullet Club thing is totally played out, but the people I do like from it are here. The Bucks are here. Kenny, yeah, he's on break, but he's here. And this whole elite thing and Bullet Club, they all were friends at one point in time through a group. Cool. I'm not necessarily sure I want to see, Tamatonga or some of the Impact people. Not, there's anything wrong with him, but it's going to get a little too ridiculous if it goes that way. So I'm cool with this thus far, but leading to some crazy multi-man matches. This is what Ring of Honor used to do, right? Like they bring in different people and have mixed matches with different Bullet Club people. This Forbidden Door stuff, like it's just now it's going to be maybe on a bigger kind of stage. But I'm intrigued as well.
The goal should be to have the big payoff for whenever they're doing Blood and Guts, right? Which I believe was maybe May last year. So I think if you can kind of build and then have, whether it be the super elite Bullet Club against some baby faces or team Bullet Club Team A, Bullet Club Team B, or whatever, I think, and it's not, you don't need to necessarily do Blood and Guts the same time every year. You can have that later in the year, but I feel that would be a good destination to kind of build this feud too.
I'm definitely intrigued. Jay White, someone I think definitely has stepped up. We've seen him have some great matches, but in great crazy group matches and stable stuff, and again, just pretending storylines that happened and things that happened that didn't even happen here is just crazy. It helps when you have Excalibur. Maybe someone doesn't understand. Maybe someone's kind of new to this and doesn't know some history here. The commentary, specifically Excalibur, definitely tries to like feed you these little things. Like, hey, it's kind of like a Marvel movie, right? We've mentioned it's like if you just jump in, you'll still love it and you'll quickly learn stuff. And by the next movie, you're gonna start connecting some cool stuff. But if you've watched like all the little ones, everything kind of adds up, and it's kind of cool. Because I mean, how many people were probably like, I don't know who this guy is.
Maybe, but I also think by now whether it be, we've heard the term in WWE as well. People know who the Bullet Club are, even if they haven't watched New Japan and Ring of Honor all these years. You can't, you go to a show, you see the shirt, everyone knows what the Bullet Club is, and even if you don't necessarily know who Jay White is, you just hear in this segment, okay, well, he's leader of the Bullet Club, and he was beefing with Kenny Omega. I think they're feeding enough information that even if you've come in and really don't know the background, you can get what the story is. And then maybe it's your job to kind of do the bit of research if you want to know more about it and to flesh it out more.
All I know is more New Japan people bring in, and then like what you're going to have Undisputed Era versus the Bullet Club, or some, like there's got to be more people. Certain people's got to be on certain people's sides in these wars eventually, and where it can lead to. And Kenny's going to come back and be like, I want to fight you. I don't trust you. There's lots of potential stuff. So super looking forward to that. But that's not our only big surprise of the show. Our next match, Isaiah Kassidy is going to face a mystery opponent here. And the winner of this match will get added to this Face of the Revolution ladder match. Gee, I wonder who will win, Isaiah Kassidy or the surprise new signee. And the new signee is limitless, Mr. Keith Lee. The Bearcat is all elite here tonight. He comes out, huge ovation, and great music as well. Ruckus, I know the guy from AEW. Sounded good, sounded great. And this match starts with Keith Lee just throwing this guy around. There's huge overhead throws, flapjacks, shoulder blocks. Matt Hardy looks so upset. He's like, that's not Jeff Hardy. So he leaves. Matt Hardy just looks sad and walks off through the crowd, leaving Isaiah Kassidy. Mark Quinn is like, Matt, where are you going? Come on, my brother, he needs your help. What are you doing? This is my tag team partner. You can't just leave us here. And Matt just leaves. Kassidy tries to get some offense in, and Lee just like swats him away. The crowd are super behind it. Keith Lee eventually swats him again out of the air, he used to call it the BBC.
The Big Bang Catastrophe, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the fireman carry into the jackhammer. It looks great, squashes him, and it's over. Keith Lee is going to the face of the Revolution ladder match. After the match, Private Party both attack him, but he catches Isaiah Kassidy on the outside and then throws him away flawlessly, and then catches Quen as well. We've seen him do this in NXT, but just impressive. Just catches a guy like this.
Yeah.
He power bombs one onto the other and then apron bombs them as well. Keith Lee is all elite, and I am here for it. I'm super hyped to see where this guy can go in AEW.
Yeah. Great debut for Keith Lee. I really like how they didn't try to update his look. They literally just went back to how things were pre-Monday Night Raw. He was back in the short trunks rather than the singlet. He had his old hoodie that we used to complain looked a little indie-esque.
Still don't like the hoodie. No, it still does.
It does. But I think because we saw them try and change him so much on Raw, I kind of like that for this debut. It's just, let's go back to that NXT indie-looking Keith Lee, because that's the guy everyone fell in love with. And we saw over the weeks on Raw where they're like, actually, let's put you in a top, let's put you in a singlet, let's change your music, let's do this, let's do that. It felt like we just went back to Keith Lee a year or two ago, and I like that. And I still don't particularly like that hoodie thing, but I think for the debut, it kind of made sense to me. And I thought Isaiah Cassidy was a great guy for him to go against, because he sold the shit out of everything to make this guy look great. Like, the way he flew for that first Beal was awesome. And I just hope, as I kind of alluded to at the beginning, I hope it's not a flavor of the month. I hope it's not that he wins the Face the Revolution, has a match on a big Dynamite, and then we see him on Rampage once every few weeks, because this guy is so talented, but it is a bloated roster, and we have seen the kind of thing where a guy's hot for a second and then kind of fades into the background a little. So I'm hoping for big things for Keith Lee. I did find it funny as well how all of commentary really didn't seem to know his stuff at all. I don't know whether it's a deliberate thing, but he hit the pounce and they were like, oh, big shoulder tackle there. As you mentioned, the Big Bang Catastrophe, they didn't really call it at all. It really felt like it was the first time a lot of these guys have actually watched him, which for an Excalibur is kind of strange.
I guess because Keith Lee was on NXT when these guys were watching AEW. I guess they weren't watching. JR certainly wasn't. So
DVRs don't exist.
I don't know. Yeah, watching the competition. I loved seeing him here. I hope he wins this ladder match. I wouldn't even be mad if he were to. It would be hard for him to just beat Sammy. So he's got to beat a heel, right? He's got to get some wins up before kind of maybe to get in that title picture in any title picture. But I'm just happy. He was someone in NXT that I was really before NXT on the indies was the PWG stuff. He was putting on really great matches, and it's like, wow, this guy's huge and he can move like that. And then in NXT, they definitely I felt like they WWE'd him right away. I know it was some of our complaints when he finally won both the titles. He beat Adam Cole, and it was cool. It was great, but it felt like it wasn't NXT that we kind of were into. But we knew that this guy was the Dijak matches and stuff. They were amazing. And then right as he got put on the main roster, it was just whatever they did to him there, and just so weird. So I am hoping to see big things from this guy, because he look at him, look at the size, and he just got married this week, him and Mia Yim.
Yeah.
So congrats to these guys. Big week. I know she was throwing some red herrings with these photos on social media. She was like, look, we're on a beach somewhere. Leave us alone. We're not in Atlantic City. No, we're on a beach in Cleveland or something. It's fine. Don't worry. But great to see Keith Lee here. Can't wait to see that ladder match. Who else is going to be in it? Andrade, Darby?
Yeah. I mean, is that what you go with? Do you put
Sting?
all those guys in it? Yeah, not sure. Not sure at this point.
Also Matt Hardy, basically, it sounds as if he might be leaving the Hardy family office. So that's why he was given it. So it's going to change names again. It's going to be the Andrade family office
I guess so. Yeah.
until Jeff comes in, and then Private Party versus Hardy. That's what we're getting. We get a video for Britt Baker and Mercedes Martinez. She says, "I'm the one who brought Mercedes in. I was all up to me." Ah, ha, ha. And Mercedes is going to face Thunder Rosa in a no DQ match next week. So things are going to get violent here. So Mercedes is hired gun from Britt Baker.
I feel bringing in Mercedes is going to add to the because it felt like it was Jade, because she interfered in the Jade match. We thought originally that maybe Jade had brought her in, whereas now obviously Britt has said it was her. I feel it adds fuel to the kind of Jamie hater story, because it's almost like I don't trust Jamie to do this, so I brought in Mercedes. What do you see breaking first, the Wardlow MJF thing or the Jamie hater Britt Baker thing?
Yeah, the Britt Baker thing isn't as hot as the MJF Wardlow thing quite. I kind of was actually wondering that too. I'm like, wait, why would you hire someone if you literally just got someone this year to do that for you? So I'm just I was a little confused.
It was on Rampage last week when Britt kind of said that she brought in Mercedes. There was Jamie behind her who was like mad about it. She was like, what the fuck? Why are you like, I'm here?
Yeah,
so
come on.
It feels like they are growing that. Obviously, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker is the big match, which I hope they pull the trigger on for Revolution.
Which match? Thunder Rosa,
Britt Baker. But
yeah,
I feel we're getting the Jamie hater split pretty soon as well.
Or maybe not.
It could be
maybe
good because I think she's good in ring, and I think Britt Baker needs some kind of like strong challengers. So if we can kind of elevate Jamie Hayter a bit, I think she'd be a good challenger for Britt down the line.
Well, we go to some P&P, but it's Sammy Guevara with some cue cards, and he says he retained his title. He keeps retaining it, and he's a strong champion. He doesn't matter who he's got to face, and he lists Andrade, Darby, Keith Lee. Who cares? I'm always watching, and I'm always ready. He's basically stealing Matt Cardona's thing, but he's going to be champion for a while. He doesn't care. He'll take on all comers. Whenever he does these lately, I'm kind of just like, I'd rather you just cut a promo. I think you're a champion. Stop. why are you doing cue cards? I know it's been your thing, but like, don't overdo it when you didn't even need to do it. You also walked away earlier, so like
it's literally just to fill time during these commercial breaks.
I guess, yeah. It's weird. Well, we go to our next match, which is FTR. Dax the Axe and Cash Wheeler are going up against CM Punk, who's got to find a partner here tonight. That's not Darby or Sting. And CM Punk has found a partner in one Jon Moxley, the last guy he ever fought in the Fed, right?
Yeah, I looked up because I remembered he was feuding with the Shield before leaving, and they had the Rumble match. Obviously, that was Punk's last match. And then there was a dark match after a SmackDown where CM Punk defeated the Shield in a 3-on-1 match. And I was trying to see who took the pin, but I kind of think it would have been Dean Ambrose taking the pin in that. And then Punk's last one-on-one match was against Billy Gunn on Raw. So, yeah, kind of funny. Mox being obviously the Shield was Punk brought these guys in to kind of help him against Ryback and The Rock and stuff. So teaming up with his boys again.
That's right. He's teaming up with his former friend, kind of. Yeah, kind of a big reaction here, bringing him back out. That woke the crowd up completely. And it woke me up too, because I'm realizing, we're getting Punk teaming with Moxley facing FTR. This sounds pretty good. Punk starts the match off with Dax, and he's kind of out wrestling him a little bit. When they start tagging in and out and beating down on Punk, who tags in Mox finally, it's a series of strikes and an X-plex on Cash. They come back. There's a German suplex on Mox, and then there's exchanges of Germans on everyone, which was pretty cool. There's Punk hitting the flying clothesline. Then they start brawling around the ring. They eventually put Mox like double back suplex him through the timekeeper's table, which looked pretty cool. They then hit like a double slingshot guillotine thing into the bottom ropes as they yell top guys. They beat down on Mox, who finally comes back and starts hitting a series of moves. There's another crazy back suplex, but they continue to beat down on him again. There's then, I think, is it Punk who gets hit by FTR, who hit him with the stage dive? I know it as the stage dive, but I know it's what Beautiful Bobby Eaton used to do with someone. You know the move I'm talking about? It's like the one guy
we talked about in Super Brawl.
It's one like mosh headbangers used to do the stage dive. It's like they hold, one guy holds him and the other like leg drops him.
Oh, okay, you right, yeah.
It looks cool. But yeah, looked great, but it's broken up here. There's then a doomsday device on Moxley, which was crazy here. But it's broken up as well. On the outside, Mox gets hit with the tornado DDT from Wheeler. And then when the ref isn't looking, Punk, who gets pushed into the ropes in the ring, who's legal, gets rung in the head with the ring bell here from Cash Wheeler, and then gets a DDT, but Punk kicks out of it, which definitely woke the crowd up even more. The crowd is going crazy. He goes for the GTS, but then eventually it's countered into the big rig, the shitter machine, and Moxley out of nowhere breaks that up before the 3 count here. There's then in stereo sleeper, bully choke submission, and the Anaconda Vice when the ref, I think the ref got knocked down here at one point. This is when Tully gets involved, and Tully, doing his best, hardcore Holly impression, he's just sandbagging him here. Did not want to do this spot, clearly. Punk is like, no, you're doing it.
The GTS. Yeah, so Tully's just like smacking him in the face with his jacket, which, I mean, this guy just took a ring bell to the head and still kicked out. I don't think a suit jacket's going to do much damage. But yeah, he was really not going up for this GTS here.
So he hits Tully with the GTS. Yes, Tully takes the GTS. And he gets rolled up by, I think, Dax the Axe here. But Punk kicks out of it. Pandemonium. Eventually, Moxon and Punk counter FTR yet again in stereo and hit their finishers at the same time. Paradigm Shift, GTS, 1, 2, 3. Punk and Moxley win in a banger of a tag team match here on Dynamite. This had everything.
Yeah, this was really entertaining. I felt the show needed it. I thought we had some really good kind of promo segments, but it was a lot of talking this first hour. And by the time this match started, I just really needed a really good wrestling match, and we got it here. All 4 guys just seemed really, really up for it, and some of the near falls, like the saves. What I love about tag team wrestling when it's good is you don't necessarily have to spam finishers, because you can have that near save from your partner breaking up, so a guy can finish hit their finisher middle of the match, and it won't be the end of the match because it's broken up. So you had a lot of that in here. I felt right at the end after kind of the Tully GTS, I didn't feel the landing was maybe quite as good as the rest of the match going into that sort of tandem GTS paradigm shift. But it was a really fun kind of brawl here. I liked it a lot.
No, I love this match. I thought Punk finally stepped up since coming to AEW with that Eddie Kingston match, and then totally outdid himself last week with that MJF match with his first loss, and then coming back right away next week with this kind of surprise here, teaming with Mox, which I think you could have advertised this and it would have got a lot of people interested, but instead they did it in a surprise way, which made it even like, oh crap, okay, cool. And it was like smash mouth. I mean, Punk can hang still, and FTR are just awesome. And a few people in the Twitch chat are reminding us that the Midnight Express called that leg drop the Vegematic. And someone also said that in TNA, America's Most Wanted used to do it. And I quickly looked that up, and they called that the death sentence. So okay. FTR clearly pulling out old school tag team wrestling moves. But I honestly, I fucking love this match. I love this match, and I love the main event. I couldn't even tell you my match of the night because I thought this was pretty good. And I was with you. I was like, all right, I'm done with some talking. I want some wrestling. And I definitely got it from this match. We go to our next match, which is Jade putting the TBS title on the line, that bitch title, against, am I pronouncing this person's name right? A.Q.U.
A.Q.A, no?
A.Q.A. Oh, man.
Yeah.
See, no wonder JR had a hard time because I don't think he said it right.
Three letters.
Yeah, I know. But we recognize her because she was someone else in NXT.
Zayda Ramir on NXT
Zayda Ramir.
for a few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen her do a few shooting star presses in NXT. And I was like, I wonder if she's going to hit a shooting star press. And, well, she will. She has an insert promo saying she's trained by Booker T and that she's beat the best and she's here to beat the best here. And she's going to prove herself. And she's going to take the TBS title from Jade, who happens to be undefeated on this crazy streak. Jade comes out with Smart Mark, his neck still in that neck brace. Jade just dummies A.Q.A here, throwing her around. She's overpowering her, hitting like gorilla presses and stuff. There's a gut buster that's countered into this DDT by A.Q.A, which sets up for the shooting star press. It does look pretty impressive, but Jade kicks out of it. She goes for it again, but Jade gets out of it, starts beating down on her again, hits this counter that's like a spinning tornado power slam. Looks pretty cool.
Kind of like Tour of the Islands almost.
Yeah, it was just kind of maybe even more speed on it. Actually looked cool. Hits the Jaded, the implant buster, the face buster, chicken wing buster, and the streak continues. That streak.
Yeah, and now they're starting to show it on the screen as well. It came up like 27-0, so it's definitely something they're going to be building up, kind of like a Goldberg streak here, where after each match we're going to see what the tally is. I think I listened to Jade on Talk Is Jericho the other week, and it was pretty interesting hearing her talk. And this is literally, it says 27-0. This is her 27th match. You know, we've kind of seen all of her matches, and I think, yeah, there's elements to improve on for sure, but you can see her improving every week. I think her moveset looks pretty good. It's now like it's the stuff in between the moves, and I think and I kind of felt the same with A.Q.A here as well. There were just some dead points in between, kind of like the connective tissue of the match, if that makes sense. And I think it stands out a bit more when you've got a crowd who are maybe a bit on a down after the high of the last match, because they were a little quiet for this. But I do think Jade's impressive, and if this is what she can do after 27 matches, how's she going to be after like 57 matches, 107 matches, you know? She looks like a star, and I think she's only going to get better.
Yeah, I don't dislike Jade. I still see a lot of, like you said, it's like there's a lot of things that may not connect, like a lot of walking around kind of thing. Like it's squash matches still, but I'm totally down to see where the streak can go. And whoever is I can't wait to see someone finally take it in 5 years, whatever. She'll just hold this title forever. Yeah. That bitch title. What did she call it? That bitch show. Sorry. That bitch show title. Yeah. That bitch streak. Something like that. Yeah. I can't wait for Julia Hart to break the streak in three years. Give it 3 years.
I mean, you could really, couldn't you? And then build her up until she's like really at a point. Just do these Goldberg style matches for now. And I think I feel like she's putting more work into improving than a Goldberg did. So why not have this as the long streak of the title? And then you can have more, maybe once we've beefed up this roster a bit and we can have some actual credible contenders down the line. Hopefully she'll be at a point where she can actually put on some kind of longer, better matches when she's more experienced.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I might be in the minority, but like the last time a streak like Asuka's streak, like that felt like she was out there killing people. She was kicking people in the head. She was tapping people out. She was doing all that stuff. it was very like she was like just murdering people. It was very impressive. Where Jade, it's impressive, but she's having a lot of these squash matches, and she's having a lot of matches that don't really kind of maybe feel as good as some of those other ones before. But I think you're right. I think given even more due time, she keeps improving. So who knows where she could be in a year from now? She could be amazing. She could be so well rounded, because I do think she's got the charisma to do this for sure. I mean, the look at her. I mean, she's like a action superstar.
She looks like a star, and what I kind of respected in that Jericho interview, and it's something I bang on about a lot, is she says she's taking acting lessons as well, which I feel like every wrestler should do. You're on a TV show every week where you're required to act. I feel like they all should. So I think she's definitely got a star quality. I can completely understand why they're not just sort of keeping her in a little studio, kind of just doing drills all the time. Like, you're gonna want to capitalize on someone who looks like this and has the star appeal she does. So yeah, we'll see how she goes. But I thought she did some pretty impressive stuff here. That move right before the Jaded, I thought I kind of missed it at first, so I had to go back to kind of see it, and looked very cool.
Yeah, more from Jade down the line. That bitch show. We got this promo from the Young Bucks that we kind of mentioned before with Adam Cole and talking about Jay White. But we go to our next segment after that, which is Serena Deeb, who comes out, the professor of pro wrestling. She says that the last time you saw me, it took me 3 minutes to beat my opponent. And well, it doesn't matter who I face, but I think I could beat anyone. So I'm going to have the Professor Rookie Challenge here today, and I'm going to show that no one can go 5 minutes with me. So Deeb now is going to go one-on-one with Katie Arquette, which I had to make sure. Does David Arquette have kids, siblings, relatives who are also wrestling? But no, I don't. I as far as I know, I'm aware, this is no relation to David Arquette. But Katie Arquette here against Deeb. Deeb goes after her. They kind of tie up, and Deeb kind of gets like, she's supposed to be the technical wizard and all that. Gets a little frustrated right away, so goes and locks in a series of twisting technical holds, and then the spinning neck breaker, twist and shout. Then an arm wrench turns it into the Tequila Sunrise, or the Serenity Lock, as she calls it. And well, Katie Arquette did not last 5 minutes, but Katie Arquette did last 1 minute 2 seconds before she tapped out, and Deeb wins.
Yeah, like very, very quick squash. I kind of like it for Serena Deeb, this professor character, this heel, this new heel persona she's got. I think this is a good thing to have. I found the placement a little odd, coming sort of... I felt kind of... I enjoyed most of the stuff on this show, but I could have done with spreading the matches out a bit. It was very top, like the first half was all talking, and then we sort of crammed all these matches right next to each other, and we sort of had a bit of a squash with Jade Cargill just prior, and then we had an even more convincing squash from your non-champion right after. So I just found the placement a little odd, but I didn't necessarily hate the segment.
Yeah, I mean, if I was watching, I'd be like, okay, well, wait, Serena Deeb just beat someone in less time than the champion.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, that is true. That is true. I do like Serena Deeb. I'm kind of down with this. It's like Kurt Angle with the open challenges, like any of these technical wrestlers who used to do these open challenges. But this is the rookie challenge. So someone's got to be the what was it? Kurt Angle, Daniel Puder, who like actually wrestled in there and pissed off Kurt. Took down.
Yeah, Kurt. I mean, it could be a great way to debut someone, couldn't it? If you've got someone at like QT's school who you're kind of training up and you think is going to be a star, you can do that kind of John Cena ruthless aggression thing 1 week where you have someone makes a big debut beating Serena Deeb in this challenge.
Julia Hart.
I mean, would she be considered a rookie? I mean, she would be compared to Deeb, but yeah.
We go to Jurassic Express, a little video here for their tag team match. Jurassic Express are going to face the Gun Club. for the tag titles. Jungle Boy's mad that he got thrown in the snow. He actually does say that. You threw me in the snow, and I'm mad about it. They call them the Ass Boys. Well, the Ass Boys say, don't worry, look at us. We're going to be the next tag champions because, look, we're gorgeous. We're gorgeous. And Billy Gunn says, we got 2 words for you, new champs. So Rampage, Jurassic Express versus the Ass Boys.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Are you excited for the Ass Boys?
Sure, yeah. They've built this up okay over the last few weeks. I think it's time we go to the match and let's see how those Ass Boys do in the jungle.
Wow. Someone please clip that. Ass Boys in the jungle. Really cheap plug here, but we are doing best match ever, Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid, and the famous ladder match. There's a lot of ass boy.
There's an ass boy in that, yeah,
for sure. Yeah, just watched it today. So there was a lot of, that's the biggest bum spot in wrestling. Shawn Michaels in the ladder match, whereas Bums is just out.
It's not just out. He hits an elbow drop with his.
Yeah, he's like, hold on, I got to hit the elbow first.
That should be these guys' finish.
No, it's the best butt. Yeah.
Go to each corner, get their bum out, and hit an elbow or a splash.
Wow, is it? Yeah, I hope they don't do anything related to like kiss my ass kind of thing,
like Event Omega, but with the bums out, that kind of thing.
Because they hit a finishing move called the 310 to Yuma, which is like the like a Western. So they're kind of like they're cowboys, right? Like the gun club. But right. I don't know if they have an ass, like a double ass hip attack or something. But the Ass Boys, very, very, very good. Well, I'm looking forward to that match. We go to our main event, which also features a cowboy here, the world champion, Hangman Adam Page, going to put the AEW title on the line in a Texas death match in Atlantic City.
Yeah, okay. Before we get into the match, I'm going to get my one quibble out the way because I really enjoyed this match. Stop calling it a Texas death match. It ain't a Texas death match. The rules are different, and you're not in Texas, so why are you calling it that?
Maybe that's why they're not in Texas, so they didn't want to.
But these aren't the rules of a Texas death match.
Okay, what are the rules?
A Texas death match is where you've got to pin the person first, and then the 10 count starts. Whereas this is more like I think last time they did this in AEW, it was just a last man standing match, and then this time they said it's the 10 count or submission. I don't know, just call it something else. I don't know why you'd call it the name of a match. I find the rules kind of silly for a Texas death match, but you've got a long history with this match and what the stipulations are. I don't know why you'd just do different rules.
Yeah, so they're calling it a Texas
Atlantic
death
City.
match. Yeah, in Atlantic City, great, but it's basically a last man standing match.
Essentially,
the 10 count. Yeah, so that's what this match is. But Hangman versus Lance Archer. But as Archer's music hits, he's in Gorilla about to go through the tunnel. Hangman actually attacks him, so he's taking the fight to Lance Archer. We've seen Archer attack people before their match, so it's almost like Hangman was getting the jump on Archer here. So they're attacking each other. At one point, is there like a pane of glass here randomly in the tunnel? I don't know what it was there for, but Hangman throws Archer through it.
Well, all the heels have come out now, so let's screen it up or something. But
it was a little.
It just grew a window.
Like, do they always have that there?
I don't know. I thought exactly the same. Do they walk around?
Don't get me wrong.
Thing,
it looked
great.
Cool. Because there's also a shot that is like from the inside of the tunnel, which looks awesome, of Archer just going through this. Thing. Yeah, it looks great. They're beating each other up. Archer is bleeding already. Early in this match, Hangman goes for the buckshot, nails it, but it sends Archer to the outside, and he gets up before the 10 count. There's then trash cans, and Hangman goes for a tope, but is just smacked in midair with a trash can lid. Now he's bleeding. We get not only Jake the Snake walking around ringside acting suspicious as fuck, we get Dan Lambert, who's then unscrewing the ropes and turnbuckles of the damn ring. Like, He's just taking the ring apart.
Which at first I was wondering, why are they doing that? And then I realized because Hangman can't hit his finish without a top rope.
Got you. That's right.
So
The
I was like,
buckshot.
oh, actually, that's kind of smart. And also just the visual of it. It just looks like absolute destruction when you've got all these weapons everywhere and the ring kind of just destroyed. Visually, it looked really impressive.
So the ring is being destroyed here, and the turnbuckles are getting down. Jake the Snake is walking around. Hangman's bleeding, like I said. There's then double tables that are being set up during picture-in-picture here. Archer tries to do the blackout off the apron through the tables, but Hangman eventually gets out of it and starts beating him up. This is when Jake Roberts gets involved, and short arm clotheslines Hangman here. The crowd gets super excited, like they want to boo it, but they're also like, that's pretty fucking cool. And then they start to chant for the DDT, which then Jake goes for the DDT, but Archer stops him and says, no, fuck off. This is my match.
Stop. Dude, you're 70, you're retired. Like, can I win, this, please?
So Archer gets his heat back by stopping his own manager from hitting his finishing move on Hangman here. Archer then gets Hangman back in the ring, and there's a trash can set up. And he choke slams Hangman on it, through it, whatever. But Hangman gets up before the 10 count. There's then just so much more blood, not only on Archer, but on Hangman. And if there wasn't enough blood, because, you know, both of these guys love to bleed in their matches. If you've watched their matches, specifically Hangman as of late. But clearly Archer thought to himself, people laughed when they said, Texas death match. They laughed. They weren't ready for this kind of match, so I have to make it, or I have to take it to the next level, as he grabs a fork, and Lance Archer then stabs and starts to carve the face of Hangman Page, and I mean stab. These were like like shanking him in the face here with this fork thing. There is just so much blood, but repeated shots and stabs to the head with a fork. I don't know how he does this, but then this sick bastard licks the fork clean.
Gross.
Disgusting.
So
gross. Oh, God. I was screaming at my TV. This is just getting even more worse here. He gets, at one point, a steel chair that's wrapped in barbed wire. He then sets up the steel steps, and then hits the blackout on Hangman onto the steps that are like set up sideways, and Hangman bounces around. It looked like his back was in a million. Oh, this looks so nasty. Imagine you just got stabbed repeatedly in the head, and then you get flipped upside down with such force onto these steps, and then you bounce around. It looked like his head hit the ring post as well. Just terrifying here. And there's blood absolutely everywhere. It's just a horror scene here. Too bad this wasn't in Texas. This looks like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hangman looks dead. They're now somehow he answers the 10 count, and he's up. He's barely fighting. He's got blood in his eyes. They both do. They're going strike for strike. The barbed wire chair comes into play. Hangman takes barbed wire off the chair, wraps it around his own fist and forearm and elbow, and does the rolling elbow, and then another one with the barbed wire. And then we have Archer, who's like kind of staggering from these barbed wire shots. Hangman lets go of the barbed wire. It drops to the mat, which then the ref is trying to clear the ring a little bit because there's trash cans over here, there's chairs over here. And he goes to bend down to kind of move this barbed wire out of the way when Hangman sees an opportunity, runs, flips over the back of the referee, landing on his feet, hitting the buckshot onto Archer as they both go flying to the outside through those double tables that were stacked earlier. And, well, Hangman barely gets to his feet at 9, but the ref counts the 10. And, well, Lance Archer is counted out. He couldn't answer the 10 count. Therefore, Hangman Adam Page retains the AEW World Title in a horrific match. What a scary movie this was.
Yeah, I love this. I think Archer, I don't think anyone really thought Archer had a chance of winning this thing, but I think he's does a great job of just making everything look really dangerous, and maybe it just because it is, but he's got this sort of energy that is quite scary to watch, and quite a few times you're like, geez, someone's going to get seriously hurt here. And I think it lived up to the name. Okay, it had my quibble about it not really being a Texas death match, but it definitely lived up to the death match part of it. And I think Hangman, of all the AEW champions so far his record of title matches, I think he's had the best run so far. Like the two Danielson matches and this, and you count the kind of Kenny match where he won, I think really, really strong. And I just wish they sort of, I hope after this they start treating him more as the focus of the show, as your main champion, because I feel the last few weeks this really hasn't had much of a great build. Certainly not enough to justify the kind of violence we saw in this match. And I think maybe if you even took one of the smaller segments out this week to just do a bit of a video package to hype it up, to make it feel like a big, important title match, it would make the champion feel more important. And I hope moving forwards, we're going to start getting that. And he's going to start feeling like a bigger deal, because I've preferred his matches so far to any of the kind of Kenny defenses or the Jon Moxley defenses or the Jericho defenses so far. I was really impressed with this. This over-delivered for me.
Yeah. No, I totally know what you mean. Like he won the title, and then he's kind of not an afterthought, because then he did the program with Danielson. It was just so fire hot, and both matches were amazing. And then he's just kind of chilling. We got a lot of TNT stuff. I like how AEW has lots of stuff going on, so they can shuffle different things on different shows. It's cool. It's fine that way. But I mean, at least he could have, as champ, cut a promo and did some of the things instead of video form and stuff. But they had an okay build. Like, we were kind of like, Texas Death Match. Lance Archer is basically Kane here in AEW. But man, I mean, yeah, we know he does have some crazy violent matches, and this one delivered for me as well. I mean, the blackout spot on those steps was nasty, but if we're talking nasty, we got to talk about disgusting, because that's what that fork spot was, and I was absolutely here for it. I was loving it. I was in it. I loved this match so much, and I'm happy that Hangman just standing there bloodied and beaten, like he barely got out of this fight. And Adam Cole comes down to the ring, grabs the AEW championship. He's holding it, but he walks over and puts it on the shoulder of Hangman and says, "Congrats, champ," and walks off, leaving Hangman a little confused.
Yeah, commentary was saying when he was coming out that Adam Cole's the number one contender.
Interesting.
Which I guess from the rankings, but I would have thought, I mean, obviously MJF is still tied up with Punk, but I would have thought MJF is the number one contender now. He's certainly won more matches. He's been in the company longer, and especially, obviously, it was unsanctioned, the match against Orange Cassidy, but to have him he lost to Orange Cassidy, was that last week? It was very recent, that unsanctioned match, and then going right to being number one contender. When he feels tied up with other stuff. But maybe this is more of a long game, and this is maybe the first seed planted. But yeah, I just hope moving forward, I think Hangman should kind of open the show next week, have a big kind of, champions opening, celebrating, and then to set up for his next feud. I do want to see more focus on him. But it's definitely intriguing, the stuff with Adam Cole, and I think that's certainly a match we're going to get down the line.
Yeah, I could see that as the Revolution match. Adam Cole versus Hangman.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, Hangman, Adam Cole, throughout his whole career in Ring of Honor, NXT, and now here, he's always conniving with friends and turning his back and using people to get what he wants. And he's just going to do the same thing here. But I mean, that match sounds awesome. I've seen it in Ring of Honor, Battle of the Atoms. I mean, the story writes itself. We've talked about it on the show. Hey, I made you change your name because I was already Adam. So you had to call yourself Hangman so people could differentiate the two Adams, because we both are two guys with long hair. And now look at us. I'm going to take that title from you and all that stuff. But I would be so down for that match. That's easy money right there. But he didn't attack him because he said earlier, Bullet Club is for life.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? There's definitely a few interesting things that could happen. I mean, you could get a whole angle where they turn on him and they beat up Hangman again, or I don't know. It's interesting. And I thought this episode had a lot of pressure because, again, when Tony Khan does his Twitter fingers and hypes things up, it gets people talking, and instantly people are going to be like, oh, it's not going to deliver. But I thought this show delivered. It had 2 banging matches and it had some great progression, and it still didn't even touch on the Danielson Mox thing, which is apparently he's gonna speak on Rampage. So I mean, that's still something that we didn't address either. So just good stuff all around.
Yes, solid episode for sure. Found as I mentioned earlier, just the order of some of the stuff may be a little odd, but yeah, the tag match and that main event was excellent, and I thought some really strong promo segments and story development tonight. So yeah, really, really solid show tonight. Lucky Brandon.
Honestly, a super hot show. I love all the wrestling, and I think that it kind of makes the Revolution card kind of fill in. Like, I think we're getting Punk MJF 2 at Revolution, and that's kind of maybe a number 1 contenders match. I think Cole versus Hangman can be the main event.
Jericho, Eddie Kingston, I would imagine.
Moxley, Danielson in some way.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's. Are we going with this stable thing with them?
Jay White, someone, I don't know. There's a lot going on, but I'm
multi-man, like tag match or something.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, solid episode of Dynamite here. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is the great wrestling show. They definitely delivered here. Can't wait for some stuff next week and going forward. But guys, thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening and supporting us here at UpNXT at BDElite. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already at UpNXT Podcast, and join us on Facebook. There's a Facebook page and a Facebook group you can join. UpNXT group will let you in. It's fun. And you want to hear more and support, patreon.com/UpNXT. All the different podcasts, so many different things we're doing. Go check us out and listen. I guess that's it. Davie, any last words?
No,
all right.
No, I think we've said all there is to say.
Well, I myself, Braden Herrington, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. I'm at the Brady.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. See you next week. And Bullet Club is for life.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.